Hi, I'm the old dude, and I'm going to tell you how I eliminated my anxiety attacks. First, I'll explain what created the anxiety attacks so that you'll know what you need to conquer. And second, I will tell you how I conquered those anxiety attacks. This is my first video, so let me know if this video helped you or not in the comment section below. Now, I'm not a professional therapist or anything like that, but I do have valuable life experience and study during my 70 years that can help you. I've watched many YouTube videos from both professionals like Everyday Health, Ehow Health, and also amateurs like myself, and they have outstanding advice to give regarding panic attacks and anxiety. However, in my case, they weren't that helpful for what I went through. Great ideas like breathing properly, focusing elsewhere, and such, they didn't help me enough. Medications didn't help me. I tried a few different anxiety and depression medications, but they didn't solve my problem. I had to find another way, and I did. So I want to get my solutions out to you in the world before I die, in the hope that people like you who have issues like mine will find a lot of help here. So subscribe and click that bell to hear more in the future. Now, many YouTube videos say anxiety attacks last only a few minutes, but my anxiety attacks could last for a couple of days or more, and I normally get them every week or more. They had also come with different levels of intensity. Many were so bad I could hardly function or get out of bed. Panic attacks and anxiety messed up my life until I conquered them about 10 years ago. So it's my hope that my experiences will help you to avoid this sad old fate and that you'll defeat anxiety. Now, I'm not going to tell you what anxiety attacks are and what anxiety is. You've already listened to other outstanding videos that explain this. Your heart pounds, you feel weak, your chest feels compressed and smothered, you have a loss of control, all those things. Now, you need to know what causes these anxiety attacks in order to cure them. Here's what happens. The amygdala in your brain sends a signal to you in an emergency, whether it's real or imagined, and it creates anxiety. If we're getting mugged in a dark alley, this anxiety is a good thing. It gives us a temporary boost for our fight or flight response. However, sometimes I used to get anxiety attacks for seemingly no reason. Well, what was happening? My amygdala was sending false signals causing this anxiety. Now, how did the amygdala do this? Get this. It was all electricity. Wait, what? Huh? Electricity? Yes, the amygdala sends electricity, an electrical pulse, to the thinking parts of your brain. That's right. That's all the amygdala does. It sends a mindless electricity signal, just like maybe a light switch. And electricity doesn't think, of course. So when you have a real or imagined emergency, the amygdala sends an electrical pulse. Now, it's your thinking part of your brain that has to figure out why the heck this signal got sent. The amygdala sends out an electrical signal to the cognitive part, the thinking part of your brain, telling you there's some emergency. And it does this by creating anxiety. Now, the amygdala doesn't judge as to whether the emergency is good or bad, serious or not. The cognitive part, the thinking part of your brain, that has to do. While I was a child, my thinking part of my brain got trained to panic when that electricity got sent to it from my amygdala. Here's my background. When I was a little kid, small things like a dirty look or a sharp tone of voice from my parents meant a spanking or something else bad. And that terrified me as a little kid. So over time, my amygdala got trained to view those dirty looks or sharp tones of voice as dire emergencies. As adults, we never understood that our anxiety was developed at a young age. So today, as an adult, when someone like a spouse or someone else gives a harsh look or speaks sharply, or some bad event happens like a financial crisis or even something very minor, your amygdala sends out that electrical signal and anxiety ensues. Now, most of us will do anything to get rid of that awful anxiety. We may people please, that's do what other people want, and then we resent it. We might lie, avoid the conflict, or somehow fix the situation, put a Band-Aid on it, to get rid of that anxiety. Because as adults, we don't realize how this anxiety affects us and why we have it, we never know how to find the cure. Here's what I discovered. What I finally discovered after decades was this. When the amygdala sends anxiety, I need to stop. I need to stop. Instead of just mindlessly reacting to it, fixing the problem, running away from it, I recognize the anxiety and I analyze it. I don't run or try to avoid the anxiety anymore. I stop and analyze it. I ask myself, I feel this anxiety. Is my life in danger from some dangerous people? It's not. Is the person who is yelling at me going to beat me up or cause me harm? No. Well, then this anxiety is just a mindless electrical signal sent from my poorly trained amygdala. It's not even real. So you can now dismiss the anxiety and deal with the conflict and actually come to resolve the conflict instead of running from it like most do. Now, what do I mean? Dismiss it. Let me illustrate dismissing the anxiety. As a child, you may have believed in ghosts as a child. And these ghosts were scary and dangerous in your young mind. But now, as an adult, you know that ghosts are just a silly superstition. But when you were a child, what if you had to go into a haunted house? You would be terribly frightened to go in each room. You would imagine when you went up some stairs and into another room that there was some dangerous ghost waiting for you. Your heart beat fast, you sweat, fear and anxiety just gripped you as a child. But now, as an adult, you know that ghosts are just a silly superstition. You laugh at the idea that ghosts exist. How silly to believe such a thing. However, now, even as an adult, because of your damaged amygdala from childhood, when you go to each dark room, you still feel a very short, temporary feeling of anxiety. Now, that anxiety will last only a split second. The reason it will last only a split second is because you know that fearing non-existent ghosts is silly. So you immediately poo-poo the fear and you dismiss the anxiety as you now immediately walk in the room now with no fear or anxiety at all. The anxiety wasn't even real. This is what I mean by dismiss the anxiety. Remember, what I finally discovered was when the amygdala sends anxiety is I need to stop. Instead of just mindlessly reacting to it, fixing, running away, putting a Band-Aid on it, I recognize the anxiety and analyze it. I don't run or try to avoid the anxiety anymore. I stop and analyze it. I ask myself, is my life in danger from some dangerous people? It's not. Is the person who is yelling at me going to beat me up or cause me harm? No. Well, then this anxiety is just a mindless electrical signal from my poorly trained amygdala. You can dismiss the anxiety just like you dismissed and poo-pooed any fear of ghosts. It's only electricity. It's not even real. When it comes to the amygdala, we're basically robots. Robots being sent a very weak pulse of electricity. Now, there's more to say on these matters, and I want to go into more depth about this important issue. There are more ways I've discovered to deal with fears and uncertainty and to tackle the problems we face in life. Actually, I have a lot to say, and I'm planning on posting a new video each week. So subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to hear more. And please leave comments. Tell me if this helped or didn't help, and give me your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.